In this video, we're going to do the product rule, or the derivative of products. So, students will find the derivative of a function. Let's continue. So, the product rule, let's say you have a function that's made out of two different functions, multiplied with one another. You first do the derivative of one, then multiply by the other, then multiply by one, and then by the derivative of the other. That sounded fun. So let's say we have f of x times g of x. Then first you will do f prime times g plus f times g of prime. Product rule is my favorite. It's the easiest one of them all. A little confused why I did the chain rule before the product rule, because that's kind of weird, but I digress. So here's an example. Y equals x to the fourth times cosine of 6x. Oh, there's a chain rule and a product rule. That's crazy. Let's do this. So first you do the derivative of 4x to the fourth, which is 4x cubed. Then multiply by just cosine of 6x without doing anything to this, which is cosine of 6x. Then multiply by, let's go x to the fourth. Don't do anything, x to the fourth. And then by the derivative of cosine of 6x, which is a chain rule. So negative sign is the derivative of cosine, and then multiply the inside, which is just 6. The derivative of 6x is 6. Add the two together, or simplify as much as you can. You should end up with this. Did you know that this means the derivative of the y function in respect to x? Did you know that? Alrighty, let's move on. If we have this times this, let's do this. That's a chain rule times a chain rule. That's going to be fun. So the derivative of this is simply 7 times it, and then to the 6th power. So 7 times this to the 6th power times the derivative of the inside, which is 3. The derivative of 3x plus 8 minus 8 is 3. Then multiply by this, not doing anything to it. Then we proceed by doing the derivative of this times this, not doing anything to it. So let's see if we, well, first we just wrote down this, and then we did the derivative. So move the 5 up front, that's a 5. And then we leave the inside alone, which is what we did here. And then we multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is 4. Fantastic. At this point, you only simplify. Simplify as much as you can. We have a, so the 3 times the 7 is 21. Over here, we have 4 times 5, that's 20. We have our little things. Let's see, probably want to factor this stuff out, huh? We have 6 of these. Over here, we have 7, so we can take out 6. We have 5 of these. Over here, we have 4, so we can take out 4. Leaving up with this. And then we can distribute and add like terms. And we end up with this little bad boy right here. For this one, we have, this is irrelevant. One thing times the other, chain rule and chain rule. We're going to multiply. That's actually a triple chain rule, and that's a triple chain rule. How fun. So let's do this. So 7 times, that's x to the third, bring the 3 up front, sine squared now, and then the derivative of the sine is a cosine, so that's why we have cosine, and then the derivative of the 4x is a 4, which is why we have a 4. Now multiply by the other. And then plus, and then do the inverse. Don't forget the 7, it's irrelevant, but don't forget it. And we have, we leave the first term alone now, and then we do the derivative of the second term. So we move the 4 up front, that's why we have this. Then we have cosine cubed 3x. Derivative of the cosine is negative sign, boom, 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 boom. Derivative of 3x is 3, boom, boom. And now we pretty much simplify as much as we can. And we get this one. Now, stuff that you could do probably is factor out, like you know that you can see that you have 2 sine squared, you have sine squared x, 4x, and you have sine cubed, that can be factored out. Then you have cosine 4x, you have, do you have cosine 4x here? No, that cannot be factored out. And cosine of 3x. You could factor out 3 cosine of 3x's, but it probably won't help that much, so we're just going to leave it alone. Alrighty, so please do these derivatives right here. Pause the video and attempt them. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Do 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 do. Is that 6.3? Yeah. Do 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 do. Okay. Should I pause this video and actually do these on my own? Do people like my singing? Okay, so we have negative 6.3, and then minus 1, that's negative 7.3. And then we have a cosine of 10x. Oh, chain rule! Yeah, because the rapid 2 chain says 2 chains, and every time I see chain rule, I usually say chain rule. All right, so of course, there's like a bell that lasts several seconds. What was I? So we did the derivative of the first, so let's leave the first alone now. So that'll be x to the negative 6.3. And then derivative of the second, that's negative sign. Dun, 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 dun. Ba-bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, ba-bum, 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 bum. Beam, 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 boom, boom, boom. No factoring out really necessary. Should I factor out this guy? Should I? There's nothing I can do with the numbers. So let's factor out, let's see if that even does anything, you know? Let's factor out negative 6.3, and then we have. So then I just factored out a, so now we have 6.3 over tx. You see what I have. I know why I'm saying it. So I factored out a negative as well. And this is what I got inside. I might have did it wrong, you know, kind of under pressure right now. So that being said, now work on the other ones on your own, and we'll check your notes. Make sure you do all these. Nothing. Okay, maybe this one stands out a little bit. So that's a 7 times x to the third times x to the fourth. Inside you have a sign. Not too bad. Yeah, these are not that bad at all. This is 2 product rules, by the way, over here. So be careful with that. In this case, let me go ahead and do this one. Alrighty, and I just did it. So we did the derivative of 1 times the other plus the other and the other times the derivative of the middle part, the x squared minus 4, plus, and then leave the first 2 alone and do the derivative of the last, which is a chain rule. Chain rule, and that's it. So I think that was the only problem that kind of stood out. I didn't do any factoring because it wasn't going to make the thing look nicer, so I left it that way. This one should be, okay, that's actually not a product rule at all, so that's kind of confusing. That's just a chain rule. That's just a chain rule. So that derivative, I'll just do it real quick, would be negative, not negative, let me erase that. That would be cosine of 5 cosine x times the derivative of the inside, which will be 5 sine of x, negative. That's a negative, by the way. So you multiply those 2. So you end up with negative 5 sine x cosine of 5 cosine x. So this problem didn't actually belong in there, given that it's not a product rule at all. Alrighty, so I'll go ahead and do all the other problems. Boom, 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 boom. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.